I do have a statement for the record, and I would be pleased to take up your offer just to speak extemporaneously uh, in view of the distinguished panel that you have following me. I just want to start out by saying Happy Earth Day to everyone. I hail from the state where the great former governor and U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day. And at that time, 20 million people observed it in 1970. And here, a generation later, over 1 billion people will be observing Earth Day today. What a difference a generation makes. And, I also hail from a state where the end of welfare, AFDC, as you mentioned earlier, was accomplished. And that's when I met one of your distinguished panelists, Dr. Lawrence Mead. We go way back to those days. And that was it's hard to believe that was a generation ago when I was in the state legislature. What a difference a generation makes. I can say that with respect to allowing education and training, my good friend Dr. Mead's testimony that you'll be hearing shortly is it's entitled "Work versus Education and Training in TANF." And let me say that sort of sets the tone and the stage for some false choices that we have. Because given the current economic climate and the economic requirements of our economy, we cannot afford to ignore the fact that we have got to step up our game in order to be able to meet the workforce requirements of the future. If, in fact, Mr. Chairman, we were to send every single senior in high school at this moment to college or to associate degree programs, we would not be able to meet the needs for our economy. I mean, those jobs that where we have textile workers, those jobs are gone overseas. They're gone forever. We are going to have to reach back and provide opportunities for people who have disabilities, people who are already in the workforce that need retraining, and certainly we cannot afford to leave women on TANF behind. I want to say that welfare today, in this generation, is not as we knew it in 1996. The majority of individuals who apply or receive TANF are required to work and participate in an activity. And the only individuals whose states sometimes exempt from this requirement are parents with very young children. And obligation and opportunity are not incompatible concepts. By placing these strict constraints and limits on participation in education and training, we deny TANF recipients with the motivation and aptitude to go on. With respect to the disabilities community, I have earlier this week dropped H.R. 5083, promoting fair work opportunities for persons with disabilities. It basically takes disabled people out of the denominator of the work requirements. And Mr. McDermott, that is because it pits disabled people against other people in the TANF workforce so as to deny both groups an educational opportunity. I would so like to be on the dais there to be able to ask questions of the participants today, but I can tell you in closing that many of the TANF recipients today are disabled, and they should have in order to meet the ADA requirements, they should be allowed to have modified work programs that don't count against the state's work participation goals and deny other TANF recipients who will be able to contribute with greater tax benefits in the future and to contribute truly to this economy. Most of the jobs that are female-oriented today, social workers, nurses, are going unfilled, and we have this potential workforce of women who are on TANF that are unable to attain those goals because of the strict strictures that we have on workforce participation. I would yield back at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.